Welcome back to the Model Way podcast, where we talk about real modeling, real moments, and talk about real successes. Today, I'm honored to be joined by a true force in the industry, Miss Estela Trevizo, CEO of Bella Modeling School, a multi-location school shaping confident, empowered talent across Dallas, Atlanta, and McKinney, Texas.
Just pick up the phone, but I can't help but feeling so lonely. Yeah. On a Friday night. Yeah. So.
I want you to welcome and please give us a loud applause for Miss Estela Trevizo. Miss Estela, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, this is an honor to have you here. So you're such a busy woman and hard to track down. You're not hard to track down, but I know you're busy, and we appreciate the time that you're coming out here to visit with us and kind of talk to our audience about your journey and your career with being a CEO at the Bella Modeling School, which is really amazing. But tell us kind of how you got started in the journey as far as starting with your modeling career, and where did that start at?
Definitely. So being a tall Latina, I think naturally I was getting approached by everybody saying, hey, you should be a model, you should do modeling, you should do this. I've always been a person to say yes to opportunities, right? Say yes and then figure it out, or say yes and then learn from it and grow from it. And so I would just say yes, and I would end up doing fashion shows and photo shoots and different things, being in magazines as well. Just from saying yes. And I was like, well, this is cool. This is fun, right? And after about a good 5 years of really just saying yes and meeting different people, but never really getting the right direction, I finally got with my first agency. So I was with 3 different agencies before I got with Campbell in 2017.
Wow.
And they're amazing. They're great. And yeah.
That's cool, because a lot of people don't understand how that works, because a lot of people think it's just really just instant success. As soon as you start saying, okay, I want to model, the contracts just start flowing in. And it wasn't that case for you. So you got your first contract with Brown Agency, I think it was, we talked about before.
Yes, it was Brown. And then I think it was Calidus. And then there was a Wilhelmina Dallas branch that was going to open. It didn't open.
Yes.
I don't remember the order. But
it was in there somewhere though. You got to do all 3 of them, right?
Yeah, and then I ended up at Campbell, and it's been great with them. Definitely very organized, very good at keeping you busy.
Wow, this is really cool to hear your journey, because really you started modeling and you went through all these agencies, but you ended up at Campbell, man. Tell me what happened when you ended up with Campbell. How did that happen?
Well, I actually submitted to Campbell twice before they took me on. So to me, it was like, okay, cool. I didn't give up. I still tried. I developed myself throughout the years. I developed my craft and was able to come in stronger, so that they brought me on at that point. But it was really great. They started sending auditions right away, kind of trying to see what kind of clients are saying yes, what opportunities I'd be good for, and just building that relationship with them. So they've been great.
Oh, they are great over there. And it's crazy, because a lot of people will submit to agencies like Campbell and Kim Dawson and places like that, and they get rejected the first time and they're done, right? Like they don't want to do it anymore, and it just kind of just puts them out there. But you did it you submitted 3 times, and it took the 3rd time. What was that like? What was the feeling like when you did that? Twice. Okay, it was twice. And so the 2nd time you got in there, they said yes, right?
Yes.
And then how were you feeling on that? What kind of feelings were you feeling when they said yes? Because not everybody gets signed with them.
It was great. I was very excited to see what they could do for my career, and I was excited to work with them. They had a great reputation, a great team, solid team of actors, and so I was just excited to have the opportunity to see what else I could do for my career.
Wow. And you built that up like that, and you gained that confidence, but you went through a whole bunch of ruckus way before that, because you had to build, and it took you, I think you said it took at one, when we were talking before, that you had it took up 5 years before you finally got to that point. And when you got to that point, you started getting work. They started sending you to auditions. You started building your reputation. And I love that, because you know, a lot of people will go, once you get that first one, sometimes that client loves you so much, they just start booking you again and again and again. Then the money starts rolling in, right? And that's the big thing with it. Now, which part of the division of Campbell are you in? You in the acting? Do you the acting, or you a model, or do you also do runway?
Acting, modeling, voiceover, shoes. Like I'm a size 6 shoe, so I do like the shoe markets.
Nice.
So a little bit of everything.
No, that's good. It's almost like you got parts modeling, but you're doing shoes with the parts modeling, right? That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so like, I don't know. I don't think they call it parts modeling.
Do they call it parts modeling? What do they call it? You're just a shoe model. No, that's so cool though. But a lot of people don't get to do that, and you're there and you're doing it. So you got all this stuff done, and you started modeling, and you know, it's really cool because now that you're a CEO of Bella Modeling School, how did you get in that direction where you wanted to start doing that and make those goals to build it to what it is right now? Because you don't have just one location, you got 3. And how did you get to that point to where it's like, okay, I want to do this?
Well, I was working corporate America. I was still finishing college. I paid my way through college, so it was, you know, a slower process than most. And I ended up getting a really good corporate job at a very young age. So I had weekends free. A lot of my friends were busy working still, or, you know, with school and all that. And I continued on just doing modeling for fun, right? At that time, It wasn't like, hey, I'm thinking about this as a career change. It was like, hey, this is fun. I get to meet people. I get to do these really cool things and have these really fun experiences. Well, I was Miss Texas Latina 2011, and I had a pageant organization reach out to me and was like, hey, can you come and be one of our guest judges? And I was like, oh, absolutely. I would love to. That sounds fun. And it was a lot of like, it was a quinceañera pageant. So it was like 14, 15-year-olds, and they were winning like their quinceañera. So like they were getting everything sponsored for the winner. During one of the times I go help them, their runway coach was late or didn't show up. And they were like, hey, you've done runways before, right? Can you coach the girls? And I was like, again, I say yes to opportunities and then figure it out. So I said, yeah, I would love to. So as a group of about 30 girls, I start coaching them. And I'm really good at like just observing and finding things. And so I would notice like, okay, this girl's kind of, her foot's going in as opposed to, you know, straight. Like I can kind of see where they're having trouble. And I put them in separate groups and I had them work on different things. All the parents were there watching, but I was like tunnel vision in on the girls and seeing that improvement was really cool. So at the end of it, the organizer is like, hey, the moms loved it. The girls loved it. Like, could you help them during a photo shoot that they have coming up? And I was like, yeah, okay. So I go, and she actually paid me to go help them during their photo shoot. And I was like, you get paid for this? Like, what? That's cool. So after helping them, it just kind of stuck in the back of my head. I always wanted to have my own business. I didn't know in what. I was always doing modeling, and it just, I knew the industry and I was with agencies, but I didn't really know what to do with all that. After I helped them during that time, I just got to thinking, and I was like, could this really be a thing? Right? Could it be like a modeling school or something? Well, during that same time, I had multiple people reaching out saying, hey, how do I get my kids to do what you're doing, to model? Or how do I do it myself? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it took me 5 years before I got with my first agency. Like there's a lot to learn, a lot to do. Like where do I even start? And it's multiple people reaching out. So I'm like, maybe there's somewhere I can direct them, right? Like saying, hey, because it's not a quick answer. There's so many questions and so much to learn about the industry, right? Then it becomes, what kind of modeling can I do? How do I find clients? Where do I go? What kind of pictures do I, and it's like, I just didn't have the capacity at the time to really help that many people through that process. So I started looking up to see what was out there. And as I'm researching, I didn't like what I was seeing.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question, Mrs. Estela. What really inspired you to start Bella Modeling School?
I always wanted to have my own business. I didn't know in what, and I was working full-time corporate America job. I was still finishing college, and I was modeling for fun. In the grand scheme of things, I thought it was fun. You got to meet people, you got to be a part of these really cool projects that were very different than, corporate life or than college.
Okay, Mrs. Stella, tell me, so like you did all this and you got to this point after your schooling, actually being signed with Campbell, and you told me about that whole deal. But I mean, what really inspired you to open up Bella Modeling School?
Absolutely. So I always wanted to have my own business. I didn't know in what. I was still in college. I had a full-time corporate job, and I was modeling for fun. To me, I was doing pageants, I was modeling, I was meeting people, I was saying yes to opportunities and learning along the way and meeting some really cool creatives. At one point, a pageant organization reached out and wanted me to be a guest judge. So I went and I was a guest judge for them. And during one of the times that I went to go help them, their runway coach didn't show up. And so they were like, hey, you know how to do runway, right? Or you've done runway. Can you teach the girls? Like, they're standing there waiting. And it was a group of about 30 girls. And I was like, yeah, again, yes, say yes to opportunities. I was like, sure. All the parents are sitting there watching. And I just went straight into tunnel vision. So I split the girls up in groups. I had her, walking here, doing this technique, doing different things. And time flew by like that. And I was like, wow, that was really fun. I enjoyed it. So the organizer contacts me after and she's like, hey, the parents loved it. The girls loved it. Like, they have a photo shoot coming up next weekend. Can you come help and I'll pay you? And I was like, you get paid for this? Like, to go help them pose? Like, what? Sure. So I went, helped them. And during that time, I just kind of kept that in the back of my head of like, this is a thing, right? I wanted to have my own business. I did modeling for fun. And I started getting a lot of Facebook messages about, how do I get my kids in modeling? I want to get my daughter. How do I get in modeling? And it's a process, right? And there's so many questions in between and so many details, and it's all personalized because you have qualities that another model doesn't have, or like you need different than this model, or you need to meet with this agency that focuses on this look. And so it's just like, hey, I didn't have the capacity at the time to really walk all these people through the process. So I was like, okay, let me see what's out there so I can help direct them in the right direction at least, or be like, hey, contact these people. As I'm researching, I didn't like what I was coming across. So I was seeing bad reviews, scammy type of things, false promises, false information, or like confusing information that I can see how people can easily get confused with. And I was like, what are they doing? Like, what is going on? So I took it upon myself to build something that would actually help them get to where they need to be, to create a team, bring together a team of people that were just as passionate about helping them and developing them and walking them through this process. And I just took it one day at a time, one student at a time, and really had to break that stigma of modeling schools are scammy, right? And that was hard to do at first, but now like our reputation has followed us and we've been able to grow, and so it's just been a blessing.
Man, that's really cool because excuse me, when you do that and you start doing the research, you find out, I think it sounds like what you did is you went out there and you did your research, you found out what people weren't getting and the lies they probably have been told, and you flipped it and made it a positive thing, that we're not going to be that typical agency or schooling that's out there putting this stuff together, just taking people money, making false promises. And you guys went above and beyond. You grew it and you're growing it. And I love, like I always say this, like I love going there because you guys always invite me to go look at models because I'm a manager and I place girls and I put them, I help them get more developed on their stuff. And it's just really neat to see that. And I'm just so grateful for you guys, because guys, if you ever need to go to a school, that's the place to go, because she is top notch, guys, and she'll give you the best service. She's got a great staff and great people that'll help get you through that course, whether you're trying to build your confidence, whether you're just really wanting to build modeling. I mean, she does all that stuff. She has this nucleus of a program that does it all in that organization, which is absolutely fabulous. What are been some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you opened up Bella Modeling School?
I would say one of the biggest challenges was the reputation that modeling schools had at that time, and just really changing that perception and helping inform people a little bit more on the industry itself. I would say that was like the big challenge.
That was probably your biggest challenge. And I can see that though, because that's a hard challenge to overcome, because they're questioning you and your integrity, and you're having to overcome that because you are a savvy businesswoman and you're a savvy person to get through things, and you understand the business, and you've worked the business and you've been in the business. And that's kind of cool to see that, because you overturn that and turn it into something where you're getting people to come in and pay for the services and do the things that you're teaching and your staff are teaching, which is absolutely incredible to see that growth. Because I want to talk about that, because you built Dallas up, which did you start Dallas first and then go into Dallas to McKinney to Atlanta? What was the order of precedence with that when you did it?
It was Dallas, then McKinney, and then Atlanta, and more to come.
Now you got two locations here in the DFW area, and what'd you find the need to open up another one like up in McKinney, which is only a few, probably 30, 40 minutes away from actual Dallas? What made you inspired to open that location? Growing
up in Dallas, I've noticed people don't like to leave their hubs, right? So if you live in Frisco, you're kind of going out in those areas unless you really have to go to Dallas, or if you live out in Fort Worth, different areas. And so I felt a need for a North Dallas location to be present to help service all those different cities, and so that people aren't having to come, through traffic all the way to Dallas.
Right. That's really good. So you did all this, but I wanted to ask you this too, because I'm really big on confidence and mental awareness, mental health, all these things. What does confidence mean to you today versus actually when you started in this whole journey of yours of being a CEO with a power school? When you started 11 and a half years ago, how was your confidence then versus it is today?
It definitely grew. It grew as we were able to prove ourselves, as we were able to help people and be able to have that credibility and that backing of like, hey, we are doing this and we are doing the right thing. At first, it was very much trying to prove to yourself and to others that like, hey, we can do this, right? So I feel like it's definitely grown in the right direction on like, we are able to accomplish a lot and help a lot of people get to where they need to be.
That confidence definitely shows, I promise. Guys, please like and subscribe to our channel today. Guys, we are number 5 on the charts on Apple Podcasts, guys. Yay. Give ourselves a hand. We couldn't have done it without you. Please like and subscribe to our channels right now to subscribe. You can also go to our website, www.modelwaypodcast.com, and click on the links for our merchandise. We have hats, we have t-shirts, we have modeling bags, we have tote bags, we have every kind of thing, coffee cups, mugs, everything you can possibly, beanies. I'm gonna put a beanie on this next episode because I'm gonna show it and sport it. It's gonna have Model Way Podcast up here, and you guys are gonna love it. But that's gonna help keep our show growing, guys. Please, if you can go out there and buy our merchandise, we can get better productions, we can get more production, and get the word out to people. We love what we do. Thank you, Miss Estela. Here we go now, talking about the power of helping others, because you typically I want to know what type of students that you like to bring on to your platform there. I mean, you get pretty much everybody, or pretty much anybody I think can go to your school.
Definitely. So I feel like the modeling industry is so diverse, right? And it keeps getting more and more diverse. And of course, then there's acting side of things, which you need all types of looks, ethnicities, everybody. So we accept anybody that wants to learn the craft, right? Because some come, they don't really want to do modeling professionally, but they want to be able to take better Instagram photos and be able to speak on their business on the social media platforms, because everything is a camera in front of you nowadays, right? And so it's definitely a valuable skill. Or they just want to walk more confidently in heels and just be more confident in themselves. So we do open the doors for anybody that wants to learn the industry, but we are very transparent, very honest on, hey, if you are going to do this professionally, maybe this is the direction you need to take, where you'll find more opportunities. Keeping in mind that the industry is changing, right? You can start a clothing brand and then be the model of your own clothing brand, because you have that final say. Now you become the client, right? So there's so many directions you can go in.
Man, gosh, that is so good, because like a lot of people don't understand, like there's something, like I teach this too, like, you may not be walking the runway for Prada, right? Like you're not going to be, not everybody's 5'11", and a size 0, right? And they're not showroom fit, right? Like, so, but there is, there's things like the shoe modeling thing that you said, parts modeling, you've got the talent side, which is going to be your acting and your commercial print. And, there's all kinds of things for everybody in here. And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
Makeup,
Yes,
skin.
hair, makeup, skin, all this stuff. You can do that beauty campaign, and there's so much stuff out there that you can do. And you can be on the other side of the camera, on the back side of the camera, doing this and learning the craft at your school, right? And so a lot of people don't understand that, and it's like really cool that you guys craft everybody individually and get their own direction for them personally in the business if they want to pursue a career in the fashion business or the modeling business or any part of this business that we'd call entertainment, right? And it's really neat to see you guys grow people like that. And it's just absolutely, I find it rewarding as a manager when I see people get placed. I can only imagine what you see on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, definitely. We love to see it. A lot of our students get picked up by agencies just because they're prepared, right? And they understand what they're doing. And again, each agency has different clients they work with, so they each need different things. So there's different opportunities. And again, it doesn't stop just locally, because some people, are made for different cities, are made for, their look is going to be great internationally. So it's just be in the wrong location, in the wrong place. But now you have the skills, the industry enough to, hey, let me test out these other markets and see which one starts booking me more, or I start being more successful in. But you can't just stop at the first door you knock at and say like, oh, they told me no because I was too short. No, maybe you were too short for what they needed. But there's a petite modeling agency out in New York that you'd be great for,
Yeah, that's the way it is. I know it's called Bella.
Oh yeah, there is one.
There's a Bella Modeling, that's the one I was talking about earlier. Bella Modeling, that's New York City guys in LA. They got a agency out there in those two, and they're commercial, right? Like, so that's really good. But what's their biggest reward when you're help? What do you think your biggest, what is it? What I'm looking for? What rewards you the best when you see somebody grow in their confidence?
Just the transformation that takes place with them, where again, a lot of transformation is internal, but you start to see that externally in the way they're communicating with others, with their instructors, and they're asking more questions. They're saying yes to more opportunities because now they have that confidence within. Yes. And even if they heard no with some, they're still submitting for others that they're going to get a yes on.
Right. And it's really cool because like even when I've talked to people that I've met with at your meet and greets before, and I get calls from them every once in a while, and they're still persistent, and that shows with that because that's their confidence. I'm intrigued by it. It's like, man, she really wants this, doesn't she? And it makes you more eager to be like, want to help them in a way that you can. If they may not have a spot right that second, like you said, and it's just not their time that second, but 6 months down the line, it may be like, okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's put the signature on this thing and see if we can get you rolled up a little bit and make you polished and get you out there a little bit. So that's really, really cool. One of the things, I talk about mental health a lot, Estela, and it's like one of those, sometimes people don't understand that, but I think you guys do this a lot, and you talk about that, about taking breaks and doing things that'll help you get better at yourself mentally so you don't break down and crash out, so you can keep moving in this industry. How do you guys approach your mental stability and your mental health with your model?
Oh yeah, I believe mental health is super important, especially nowadays with just the access to social media, the comparison, and again, everyone just posts the perfect successful life, right? The successes. They don't post the rejections and the bad days. And so it's easy to compare and get in your head and kind of deteriorate your mental health if you get too consumed in that. We let them know right off the bat, like, hey, you're going to hear more no's than yes. And that's just part of it. We still hear no's nowadays as instructors, as CEOs, and it's not because anything's wrong with you. It's because you weren't the right fit for what they were looking for that particular campaign, right?
How do you deal with that when they're dealing with reject? What's your message to them when they're dealing with those kind of rejections like that?
Is to keep going, not to change who you are completely because you're trying to fit into a box. It's, hey, what unique qualities do you have, and like, where do you fit in this industry? And they deal with comparison too, so they compare themselves a lot too. I get that a lot too. They'll try to compare themselves to everybody else, and I
tell them, Estela, I say, look, it's not they're not your journey. You're your own journey. And I love that what you said earlier. You said it's really, well, I say this too, but you probably would agree with me. Like, it's not a competition with everybody else. It's a competition with yourself. And I know you teach that kind of stuff to them. That's what I'm trying to convey to the audience, that's why your school's so good, because that's what you teach. You teach that confidence and that emotional stability and breaking through and knowing that there's going to be a breakthrough and just getting through it so you can understand how things work, not only just in modeling, but in life. And it's really amazing to see you guys do that like that, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a long game, right? You're going to learn along the way. You're going to shift directions. You're going to grow as a person. You're going to get better at your craft. It's not an overnight thing. It's not, I went to one audition and they said no, so I gave up the whole career. It's, hey, they could have said no, but you have to keep going to hundreds of auditions, submit, put yourself out there, and maybe you got to update your photos, and like taking those steps to be successful until you learn your formula, not what worked for this model over here who's completely different from you, or what worked in her time, right? 10 years ago or 5 years ago. It's, hey, what's working now? How can I stand out? How can I put myself out there? And we have social media now that you can leverage, and you can draw in clients. There, you can do UGC stuff for different brands, and now these brands are getting to know you, so now they keep you in mind for these other campaigns. There's so many new ways to put yourself out there, so that formula keeps changing and gets updated year after year.
That's cool. That brings me to something else. I'm just thinking about this. I mean, how do you think all evolved as a company since the day that you started till what's gotten better?
A lot, everything. I feel like
it's everything, right?
All the changes that happen. A lot of it's with social media, new platforms, new way to get your message across, instructors that align with you at those times, updating the curriculum to meet the standards of today, right? Because a lot changes in 12 years. Some stuff is fundamental and stays the same, but some stuff needs to be updated to stay current with how society's changing as well.
Yeah. And you have to update yourself to what society's doing. You know, we talk about social media. I mean, social media is a huge thing. Even with you, like I've seen you out there on social media a lot more. It's like, man, she's really like doing stuff on social media, and you're like making it work.
You have to, because like now things are shifting that direction. So it's like, hey, what can I do, to stay on top of it and not get lost in the noise, but still remain authentic to who you are.
Which one's your favorite platform? You like TikTok or Instagram, or what's your go-to?
I am an Instagrammer.
Have you tried TikTok though? TikTok's awesome. I
have a profile on there. Yeah. It's hard to keep up, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's the Facebook, and that operates differently. TikTok and Instagram.
They're all three different. They do the same. They have the same function, but they're just like different. Like I'm noticing. Like I went from, I'm older, but Facebook was like the thing back, 15, 16 years ago. And then it went to Instagram, and then TikTok came out, and I'm like, that's a whole new ball game. But I'm loving TikTok now because I'm seeing more growth on the platform. And
get on TikTok more.
Yeah, it's way more engagement, girl. You got to get on there because it's like crazy good. But I love it how you do that, because you're promoting your school, you're promoting, confidence, and you're showing the confidence because you're getting on there in camera and you're doing your own little videos, and I'm liking them every time I see them, and it's like really cool to see it how you're growing like that. It's just really cool. We're all kind of evolving in that direction, which is really, really, really nice. What do you see for Bella Modeling in the next 5-10 years? What do you see Bella Modeling School to be in the next 10 years from now?
I want to have multiple locations, both nationally, internationally. I definitely want to leverage technology and how that's evolving as a way to reach more people. There's so many different ways and directions and things you can take with a company, right? And so it's just seeing what's going to work best for the future.
Man, I love that, because I think people are going to, the more you start building this thing up, the more people are going to start coming to you, and it's really neat to see. Do you get any kickback from any other competitors out there? at all?
What do you mean?
Without saying the names, like just hate. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got haters out there. You got any haters?
I'm okay with
we
haters.
all do. But
I'm
they
okay
make
with
you grow.
that. That means you're doing something right.
You're doing something right because they're watching you.
Yes, then you're doing something right. I'll just say we are on their radar. And to me, that's an honor. Because I started this company by myself. So to be on the radar of companies that have been around for longer, it's an honor. Like, you can say whatever you want about it, or about me or the company.
No, but that's good.
In your mouth, I'm on your mind and I'm on your radar.
You're a hell of a CEO. I wanted to say that, and I think you got a great staff. I love the people that work with you and for you, and it seems like they really have your back. I mean, one day I need to bring all you guys on and put everybody on there and just talk about what you guys do, so we can get people listening to you, right? And I think that'll be really nice. But this is really cool. So tell us where our listeners. I want to know where our listeners can find you. That's the big thing.
So you can find the school at bellamodelingschool.com. We're also on Instagram at Bella Modeling School. We're on TikTok too at Bella Modeling School. Each location also has the Instagrams. Yes. And then my personal Instagram is at The Modern Model, also TikTok, but I will be using it more. So I'll let you hold me accountable to that.
I'm a girl. Where's the TikTok? I'm like,
I know.
Estela, No, that's cool. No, that's really good. So tell me this, what advice do you have for any other aspiring models that are scared to do this, but need to do it, and they know they need to do it? What would you tell them right now? What would you tell our audience? These models, you're looking in this camera, you look at me right now, you can do it. And she's going to tell you why.
Yes, I would say if you get that idea, that passion, that urge to do it, don't overthink it. Get out of your head and just take action. And you don't have to know how to get to here. You just have to know how to get to here and then here and then here, and you'll figure it out along the way. But if you get stuck in your head trying to figure out the whole process to get to here, you're never going to get started. So just
called baby steps.
Baby steps.
Take the baby steps.
How to eat an elephant.
How to eat an elephant. That's all it is, guys. It's little piece by piece, one bite at a time. You can't eat the whole thing. You got to take it little by little and take your steps into it, which is really good. This has just really been a fantastic talk and very inspiring for those of you who haven't been inspired. There's something wrong with you, but I encourage you. I can say that because this is my show, right? So I can say whatever I need to say. So, but this is a good show, guys. But guys, please like and subscribe to this channel, please. That's why I want to say that again. But anyways, this has been a great conversation, Mrs. Estela. We appreciate your time. Do you have anything else that you want to say to our listeners out there?
I would say that the industry is changing all the time, and that if there's not a space for you, you can create that space yourself.
That part right there. Así es. Como se dice en español. We're going to finish out the show in Spanish, guys. You didn't know that. But that's really good, Stella. We really appreciate having you right now. That's really, when's your next academy start? I wanted to ask that. When does the next cycle go through? Or they're just always going? Go ahead.
They're ongoing. So we have classes that start every month. And then once we have different groups that are graduating, we combine them for a graduation. So you're able to start whenever you're ready. If you're in Dallas and McKinney or Atlanta, and then, once we go virtual, then you can be anywhere and start. But it's really exciting because you're getting to meet the people that are going to be able to keep on helping you after you learn everything. So model managers, modeling agencies, they're able to sign you and start getting you castings and start helping you figure out, again, how to get to here.
That's it. Guys, you heard it right there. We really thank you, Miss Estela, for being here. And I just wanted to say on behalf of our audience, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Very beautiful, very, very passionate about what she does. And we just appreciate you. And we wish you all the success in the world. You deserve it, okay? Yeah. But it's been great, guys. This has been a wonderful show. This is the Model Way Podcast. Well, no, let me go back real quick because I got to do something real quick. Go to our website, www.modelwaypodcast.com. We can click on the links. We've got merchandise out there. Please help support the show if you like the show and you want to continue to see it grow. We have caps, we have beanies, we have t-shirts, we have sweatshirts, we have crop tops, we have shorts. I'm getting to the point where I want to get tennis shoes on there, guys, but please go buy something and help support the show, guys. We really appreciate you. Please like us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, and iHeartRadio. Guys, my name is Lenny Wheeler. This is the Model Way Podcast. And until next time, hasta la vista,